Good morning, Sean here. It is 8:36. It is now time for the Revelstoke Mayor Report with Gary Sells. Good morning, Gary.
Good morning, Sean.
Okay, now I wanted to touch base with you on what's going on in Johnson Heights. And the first thing I wanted to do was to talk about aesthetics and how things can come off and how they can be perceived. It's a good example if you put up the perfect symbol with your hand. If you look at it from the right angle, it looks like you're giving the middle finger, but you're not.
Yeah.
Everything can come off a certain way. The articles and the way that this vote happened kind of put you in a spot that made you look like you didn't care. And I think it's important to establish, I've been here for 7 years. I've seen 3 mayors. Each time there's been a mayor, there's been choices made, and half the town has completely gone after them for that choice, whether it was McKee or it was Raven. And now it's you, and I'm sure the next mayor will experience it too.
Sure.
And I'm sure there'll be another vote on something that will piss half the town off, and the other half will go, well, it didn't bother me any.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the way it goes. So I went through all of the comments that were on social media about what's going on in Johnson Heights, and I tried to formulate the questions based on the comments without any rhetoric, just what the real core question and concern was.
Right.
And I can completely understand where there's concern. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm just going to start off with the questions, and let's see where we go from.
Sounds good.
Okay. With so many letters of concern, why did mayor and council vote yes?
Well, first of all, a couple things. This piece of property is zoned RR60, which already allows for construction camps and dormitory units to go on it, with a caveat. If we're building infrastructure, so the reservoir is being built, Camosi Road's being moved, utilities are being moved, this would never, just those things in itself, this would never have come to council. It's already a done deal. They could have put it on there because it's zoned for that sort of thing. Having said that, they're now building permanent staff housing on the mountain and the heli hotel. And so those things are going to kind of be built at the same time. They were getting the foundation built into the heli hotel, and then they're supposed to be moving over and putting the foundation and things in for the permanent staff housing.
So, but to be clear, that was one of the questions. It's towards the bottom, but I'll just jump to that one then.
Sure.
This is for the workers to live in while they're building staff housing, a golf course, and an additional hotel.
Yes.
Not
construction workers. This is not for those that are running the lifts and working on the ski hill to operate the ski hill.
Correct.
This is for the construction workers.
I think there was some confusion about whether or not the staff housing, which should have been built the day that this was excitedly said yes to, but is finally that's what they want. Their staff housing. Yeah, go ahead, build your hotel and your golf course. Are you building staff housing?
Yes.
Okay. There
Yep.
was definitely some misfires there. Even with the 2 years and an option for 3, which can still lead to 5, would city find it appropriate to place this in a residential zone? But you sort of touched base on that it's already zoned there.
Yes. Correct.
Was there any study or proof of land that was not feasible for the ATCO trailer system on RMR land or surrounding areas?
So RMR has property on West Side Road, and that's where they originally want to put this.
Okay.
So they had that plan. They went to IHA. We're going to put it out there. IHA said, no, you don't have potable water out there. You have water, but it's not suitable to drink. So no, you can't put it there. So then they looked at RMR lands itself up on the ski hill, and either the slope was too slope to put this sort of thing on, or too far away to get servicing for our infrastructure, water, sewer, and electrical. So then they looked for options in the community, what would be suitable, and they came up with this. So they had made a deal. If council would approve this, then the people that own this property would say, yeah, we can put it on there temporarily. Now, the people that own this property are still in their own works with the city to get their own subdivision and stuff done. So they're working with the city at the same time that this project is going to be carrying on.
One note that was in the presentation, and it was noted on the Mountaineer, that there was a visual impact on existing residents there. And I took that to mean, i.e. those that are living towards the mountain on the higher end houses, which could be extremely insulting for anyone living in Johnson Heights to say, no, you can't have the visual sights from up on the top, but down here in Johnson Heights, it's okay. Do you see where some people could be totally offended and upset about that type of visual comment, statement, or you know, I think I'm
absolutely,
worried.
absolutely.
Okay.
I see the frustration in that, and I don't know why that comment was even made. And so when this motion went through council, my comment was there's going to be a fence that's going around it, so a chain link fence with the privacy slats. I asked, or in the motion now, it's demanded that it's painted earth tone color so it blends in. It is 60 meters from Johnson Way, so the trailers will be set back, not right against the road, but 60 meters back, 16 meters off of Oak Drive. They're going to have the fence around it. And then I've asked for enhanced landscaping. So that enhanced landscaping will go on the inside of that slats and the outside to make sure that these things are blocked the best that we can. And the tree stand that's on Johnson Way is going to remain. They may make a road in, but I think there's a space between trees to make that road into this.
Are there legal ramifications if council and mayor were to have voted this down?
Not that I'm aware of. It is zoned for it, so if it was totally zoned for it, it wouldn't even have come to council. It wouldn't have been a thing. I think I've heard also, as far as going on with the master plan on the ski hill, they might have had to get extra permits and whatnot if they had the space to put it there. But other than that, I don't see that.
Now, with this land being privately owned and is not owned by the city, how much say does the city staff have in regards to what a landowner can do on this property?
Well, it all goes to bylaw, all goes to planning and that sort of thing. So when we look at it, if it doesn't meet the needs for planning, then basically they can't have it.
Okay, now it has been stated that it could potentially be up to 5 years. Let's go with 5 years just to be safe. Okay, so we're looking at 2025. At that particular time, is there any persons, any group, any faction, anybody, including the landowner himself, come back to council and reapply for an additional non-permanent application to turn it into something else?
No. It is definitely defined in the bylaw and the temporary use permit that when the completion of this project, with which they've been given this permit, is complete, those trailers need to be removed, and this needs to be returned back to its original space. Now, having said that, if the landowner wanted to keep some of the shrubs that are there, that sort of thing, he could do that. But the trailers have to be removed. At the end of this permit, whether it's extended by council at the end of 2 years or not, that's it. It's done. It has to be moved off.
With the 75 parking stalls being included, one would think that these stalls are not for Johnson Heights, of course, but for the employee vehicles. A shuttle bus is not going to be able to take all of the staff to and from the RMR location to build. There's going to be all sorts of work trucks that come with tools, et cetera, et cetera.
Yes.
And those that may live, let's say, in Kamloops, I'm just picking that are working for the company to build, they're going to go home and visit their families. Therefore, they're going to need their cars, their pickup trucks to drive to and from the town. Therefore, there will be a surplus of cars turning left or the intersection that's already congested, getting up onto West Side Road and then heading down into Townley or wherever else. So that was a huge source of contention for those that live up there that already have a 10-minute wait to get to work or et cetera, just to turn left.
Yeah, and so my understanding is RMR is going to alter the shifts and do split shifts and that sort of thing so that we take some of that traffic out of the times that everybody else is going to work. It's not going to be perfect. And eventually, with the Johnson Heights neighborhood plan, it's still going forward as far as getting that done concurrently to this being on. And eventually, there will be plans, or there is plans, to join Oak Drive onto Townley up past and around the Hillcrest. However, that's going to be many years down the road. In the meantime, this mayor and council are communicating with the Ministry of Transportation to talk about our highways, and we've been doing this for years. Last year, I took a drive with our manager from Cranbrook, and we actually put some things in place to make some of the roads more safer. Bigger signs and some pinch points put in, and some illusions so that things are they're actually working to keep people safer. So we're talking about what we can do in this area. There may not be anything because you're coming around a blind corner. They won't allow us to put lights. They won't allow us to put lights at the end of the eastern access, that sort of thing.
Right.
At this point, but maybe somewhere along the line, continued talks with them to see what can be done. We understand the issues, so we've done the best that we can at this point to mitigate it. If a lot of the workers can use shuttle buses, and then that's the way to go. There will be some people who are coming. They need their work trucks or their welders or their contractors that have all the tools or whatever. But it's not going to be everybody that's going to work that's going to need to drive their vehicle. It's a 60-person housing unit. We've asked for 75 parking spaces because we also need snow storage for wintertime.
Now, the people of Johnson Heights would obviously love to have a cut through to get them onto Townley and avoid going on the number one highway.
Yes.
Obviously, that in a perfect world, that would be ideal for them. I can't imagine the cost of that is low. Is that something, and you sort of touched base on this, is this something that will be addressed in the OCP update? Is it something that is kind of already in discussion for that particular neighborhood to help offset the congestion that Revelstoke is continuously getting?
Yes. And so when I talked to the planning department, and what's been presented to the neighborhood already is a road that will go somewhere behind the hotel, connect up to Townley in some way. And so those are things that'll come. Those are millions of dollars to do. So as we see more infrastructure and more things being put up into the Johnson Heights, more development, then that may spur this to come along quicker.
Okay, now you have a few notes that you've got over here, and we're going to get into that right after this. Good morning, Sean here, and we're continuing on with our mayor report. So, Gary, one other thing I wanted to bring up, which was upsetting for those in the Johnson Heights area and posed a question to the rest of the community, was how in the world did an ATCO trailer pop up almost like what felt like less than 24 hours of approval? It's like it was waiting. So what that optically looks like for the community is someone went ahead and told them, yeah, it's a done deal, so just go ahead and keep your car ready or your truck ready to pull in. That's how it looks. What happened?
Well, I'm not sure. And so when I asked staff about that, they said, oh, well, they were a little exuberant and put it in there. And I'm going, yeah, but it's not even painted as we've asked. And it's not like, where did this come from? How did it get on there? Staff dealt with it immediately. It was removed. I'm not sure where it is at this point. I think I've been told it's parked somewhere near the ski hill. I don't know how it got there. I'm as frustrated as the rest of the community. Like, what the hell is going on? However, having said that, I understand their exuberance. I understand that they want to get going. They haven't even got their permit to go forward with this, so why go there? So there's some sort of miscommunication on the delivery on how this was going to move forward. This must have been a trailer that they already owned and had somewhere else, and they were anticipating that this would be used at some point. I don't know how it got there.
Okay. But again, the optics are always...
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I get that. I mean, I was just as, you couldn't believe yesterday. I'm sure I was blowing smoke. I was so frustrated and going like, what the hell is going on? However, having said that, in all deference to the people that are doing that, if there's some sort of delivery communication error or whatever, so be it. However, the optics on it look absolutely terrible for this council, but also for the neighborhood, and frustrating. And I get that. So just a couple points that I want to make, and then we'll come to a close on this issue, and a couple things I want to do, is that the concerns that we had from the people up there were really 4 or 5 concerns. Aesthetics, they didn't want to be able to see it. They don't want to hear it. They're concerned about noise. So there's going to be, we've asked for some security, that sort of thing to be dealt with so that we don't have that. They were concerned about traffic. So we're doing the best that we can to mitigate that sort of thing. It's not perfect, but we're doing what we can. Property values, they were worried about their property values. And so because you're not even going to see this from the homes in Johnson Heights, you will as you drive through, but it'll be at the far end of that property or halfway through, and visually blocked. So I don't think it's going to have any impact on property values as we go forward. So I think with those things, I felt comfortable in saying, okay, if this is temporary, I'm okay with this going in temporarily. So again, going back, it is there for 2 years. They do get a chance to apply for a second term, and that can be up to 3 years. And it may be, council may at the time say, how much more work do you have to do?
And they might get 1 year.
And they might get 1 year.
Okay.
And so, we kind of look at those sorts of things. So I know it's frustrating for the residents. It looks like, okay, because it's not aesthetically pleasing, you guys are just going to plunk it in our neighborhood. That wasn't the case. We're trying to mitigate what we have. There is no workforce housing in the community. And so by having this so that people can come work and get that permanent workforce housing built on the hill means that those apartments that are going to be coming available in BC Housing will be for permanent residents, not for workforce housing. And then we're not going to have houses that are being rented taken up by these employees. They're actually going to be housed in these dormitory units. And that's kind of where we were coming from on this.
Okay, so I hope that I've asked as many possible questions that I could foresee through the comments, through social media, and narrowed it down as best as I could with my deciphering of comments. That's it.
Great. Appreciate that. So one other thing I just want to talk about, that Townley Roundley is now open. It was opened yesterday morning. I was sitting in my house somewhere around 7 o'clock. I could hear the traffic going past my house. 7:15, things came to a dead halt, and I'm going like, oh, the roundabout must be open. It definitely is open. We did a bit of a ribbon cutting ceremony off to the side. There are a few things that are going to need to be done in the spring, but it's open. It's ready to go. And I just want to thank Eagle Rock Construction, McElhaney Consulting, our engineers, and all the subcontractors, including Canyon Electrical and Kelly's Bobcat. And there's many more that I'm not mentioning, Valley Blacktop and the line painting people and all that. They all work together. This was originally going to be a 2-season project. They all worked together to get this done in 1 season. There is some landscaping stuff that'll be done and that'll be done in the spring. Ryan and his crew at Kelly's Bobcat are still working hard at it. Rick and his crew at Canyon Electrical have finalized their stuff with the crosswalk signals and that sort of thing. They were getting that done yesterday. So there may be some touch-ups, but because we've had such rainy weather, it is hard to get stuff done. So yesterday I saw a person trying to go around us where we were standing, and she stepped off the path onto the ground that looked like it was solid, and she sunk up to her ankle in the mud, and it looked like it was dry and hard. It's not. So those are some of the things. So as you're going through the roundabout, just be cautious. There's still workers there. We want to make sure that they're safe. And then as we go into the weekend, Halloween is upon us tomorrow. Definitely as you're going out and about with your children doing trick-or-treating, I know that in my house, we figured out a way to be able to deliver the candy safely so that people can still enjoy. So I just encourage everybody, be as safe as you can, both because of COVID-19 and because it's dark and rainy and that sort of thing. So happy Halloween, everyone.
Thanks, Gary.
Thank you, Sean.